So it's day 4 of the Unitask at Social Activity, and we've looked at quite a lot of things this week in terms of driving sales via social. We looked at the psychology of social media content, and yesterday we looked at social media advertising. So today I just want to cover making sure you put things in place to protect your accounts. There's lots of risks from hacking, from people having the passwords and the access to social accounts within your business and then leaving and then potentially not handing things over correctly. So I'm just going to go through some of those things here, and then we're going to have a chat about some of the new social media networks available and how they might pan out in terms of social media marketing. So based on everything we've learned about growing accounts, getting better engagement in your content, advertising, I think it's important to make sure you put things in place to protect your social presence. And it might feel like maybe a bit of a long task, but I strongly advise you to go and read the terms of service for Twitter, for Facebook, for Instagram, and for LinkedIn. And that's effectively because you have a contract with them when you start using the accounts. And if you do something that goes against those rules, then you may find yourselves locked out of an account, maybe put into social media jail, or lose your account forever. And I think events of this year show that literally anybody can lose an account. We only have to look at the stories surrounding Donald Trump and Twitter and Facebook. So it is a really important thing to take that time and go through and understand those policies. And what happens if you don't? Well, I've heard of several friends who've posted content on their personal, say, Facebook page, and they've maybe done something that they don't feel is wrong, but Facebook do, and they've been put in what we've termed as Facebook jail. And their account has been suspended for a few days. You can get to the point as a business where you lose your business presence or your ad account, and both of which are going to have business interruption. So my advice is always do not be in a position where social media is your only route to your customer. Things like building your email database, your PR, your website, all of those are really important marketing tools, and social media should just be seen as one of those. Social media should also be seen as breaking it down into the channels, and one presence might do really well compared to another, but you should still work across the networks and make sure that if something had happened to one of your social network accounts, that you would still be able to reach your customers in that environment. And the social accounts are, I guess, governed initially by code, by algorithms that are looking out for content that may be suspicious. And so I know people who have had their business accounts put on hold for a few days whilst the algorithm has picked up something suspicious, and it needs to be reviewed by a real person. And sometimes that real person can come back to you very quickly. Sometimes it can take days. And I know of some people who are waiting months to try and resolve some issues. So always think that when you're posting content, then algorithm is looking out for particular words and images that may be seen as suspicious. I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook first, and then you can apply the principles across the different networks and think about how you might run things. Facebook has grown and grown and grown, and as it's grown, it's kind of added on products to help businesses manage their social presence on Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. I think before you go any further with kind of improving your social presence, you need to take the time to understand Facebook for Business. And this is the place that you go, the link's in your email, and there's lots of advice for you on advertising, on setting up your account properly, selling, managing a WhatsApp presence. But just to give you a few pointers of things to think about to start off with, but this is by no means exhaustive, and you must go and look at those documents that I've pointed you in the direction of. So if you've got a Facebook business page, there will be an option for you to add on various admins. Now, you will be surprised to find how many businesses are running with just one admin on that page. Imagine if that one person gets their Facebook account hacked, then you've lost access to the pages. So first thing is to make sure, I advise ideally 3 people who have access to the page as admins in case anything happens to one particular account. It was only on the bank holiday weekend where I was frantically contacted by a client who said one of our team who has access to the admin account has their personal account has been hacked. Now, obviously, you can see that that would then have a knock-on effect, a knock-on risk to the business account page. So making sure the individuals who are on this page understand all the guidelines, all the rules about using the social accounts is important. Facebook then have something called Facebook Business Manager. And Business Manager encourages or enables you to manage that page. It enables you to manage a shop, your Instagram account, your advertising presence, your WhatsApp, and much more. And over time, more and more features will be added into Business Manager. So you also need to have a set of admins on the Business Manager. So again, do not just have that one person, because again, that brings massive risk. So you're wanting to have, ideally 2 or 3 people on your Business Manager. So you've always got a backup option if something goes wrong. And then finally, you've got people who you may work with who are external. So if you've got an agency, they should have a Business Manager. And when you want to give them access to your page, you are doing it as adding a partner. And that means then that you can control their access to your page, and the agency can control who in the agency can access those client pages. This is how many accounts are set up, but rules and regulations change all the time, and it is really important that you keep an eye on what's changing. Sign yourself up to any mailing lists related to social media management for getting guidance as things change. Although we talked about advertising yesterday, in case you haven't watched that, I'm just going to give a quick reminder that there are a lot of rules relating to how you promote products with ad spend on social accounts. And the social channels, and I'm giving Facebook again here as an example, have lots of advice within their site for what is and isn't allowed on the different pages. I bring you down to the bottom corner of the page where you can see they are adding new things on. So anything that's discouraging vaccine use, for example, will be violating their policies. There are strict rules around the promotion of face masks or hand gel. So again, go and look into these policies and ensure that you understand them before you go any further with improving your social presence. Oops, I've gone forward too quickly there. So passwords. I mentioned about passwords for, individuals having access overall to business pages. That means each individual who's got an admin right, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, the people who have got access need to take responsibility for good password management, and that's with the business presence, but also with personal accounts. So anyone who is responsible for setting up passwords, you must ensure it's not guessable. Don't go for easy to guess passwords. You hear more and more people getting accounts hacked, and therefore you should be putting things in place to make more complex passwords. And again, the social networks have advice on this. They've also pretty much all introduced something called 2-factor authentication. So if you are responsible, say you're a Facebook or a LinkedIn admin, to add any of their more advanced products and facilities. They will force you to add two-factor authentication, and that's a good thing. So what that means is you've probably got an app, or you decide to set up email, mobile phone passwords. So when you try and access the account, it will tell you that you're being sent a code. You need to get that code from your phone and put it in. Make sure you've got that set up on all personal accounts that are helping you manage a social presence, but also any accounts that where you've just got a password. Now, staying on this theme of Facebook, they again have added more and more products to their portfolio. And if you, this is a bit of advice for everyone personally, as well as for those who are connected personally to a business page. So it's a good idea to go and add friends who can help you get logged back into your personal Facebook account if you ever get locked out. And just a quick search on Facebook Help will give you the guidance of how to do that. You should also think about when you are no longer here and who can access your page. So I have it set up on my account. If anything happened to me, somebody else can go in and access my account and obviously disconnect me from business pages and memorialize my page. Again, this is more of a helpful thing to you personally, but just on the theme of getting your account hacked, I know somebody who at the weekend had their account hacked. They've not been able to get it back. And what they said they were saddest about was that they'd lost all of their previous photos and videos and posts that they put on Facebook. And I told them about this, that you can actually go into the social network and access everything you've ever posted on Facebook, and it will download it all for you with all images, etc. So if you were one of those people who feels that there's a lot of memories there on Facebook you don't want to lose, then that is the way to do it. So I've covered a few pointers there on protecting your account. Obviously, there is a lot more to it, but we've only got a short space of time. I think the most important thing is go away, read the policies, and look in all the help centres for advice on protecting your accounts. But hopefully you've seen there are a few things that you can put in place quite easily. So to finish off today's session, I just wanted to talk a little bit about new social networks that are popping up. So you'll find articles, if you Google them, about the new social platforms. What should social media marketers be doing in 2021? This is an article here on HubSpot that talks about things like TikTok and Clubhouse and some others. But I think what's really important to take from these is it's not necessarily a good idea to jump on them straight away in your areas of work. Maybe if you are, trying to reach a particular audience, then yes, get a presence straight away. But what I would advise you do is each time a new social network starts to show that it's got potential, make sure you go on and create a presence so that you've got the handle. So for me, I'd make sure I got at Digital Blonde. But what I think we can learn from these new social networks popping up is that they're telling us something about the sort of content that works. So when Snapchat was introduced and it brought about this content that only stuck around for 24 hours, we saw that then go into Instagram stories, then to Facebook, then to Twitter. So those kind of developing social networks will often give you the indications as to how the more established social networks will go. The other thing about TikTok is it's really it's highlighted the interest and the engagement in short and amusing videos. And so some of that has started creeping through into the other social networks, and that is maybe a content type that would work for certain types of business. Many of you will have heard of Clubhouse. Some of you may not have, and some of you may have been able to get a presence because you know somebody who's already got an account, but not everyone will have been able to do that just yet. But what is Clubhouse? Well, basically it's an audio network where people can just start broadcasting, and you can drop into different areas to start listening and partaking in audio content. So is it the channel you should be on? Who knows yet? So I would go just observe it, see what's happening. If you feel that it would be a good idea to open an account and have a presence, then do so. But again, I think it's given an indication to what the sorts of content that people are looking for. We've seen a big rise in podcasts over the last year. Maybe there's more people wanting that audio content where they can do other things whilst they're consuming content. So we've covered a lot already this week. We've still got a fantastic interview tomorrow where we can learn from the team at Walkers what they've learned about managing social channels and their advice for you all. If you have missed any of the sessions this week, then you can go back and look at previous days, or you can look at the webinar from a few weeks ago. But also, you could be one lucky person or one lucky business who wins 3 months social media support from ourselves. And what we'll do with that is we'll work with the business, work out what stage they're at, and devise the 3-month support around what would work best for them. So if you're completely new, this prize is suitable for you, as well as if you're well established and progressing quite well, we'll be able to tailor that package to you. So make sure you go back and look at the email that you received this morning, or any of the ones you received this week, and then click to enter. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for the big interview.